Today I want to show you some of my zero waste hobbies, how I make my personal hobbies zero waste. I have a video talking about like how you can broadly make hobbies zero waste. You can check it out up here, but these are my specific hobbies. I have a big project right here. I have some shells I collected from Florida and I want to put them on a canvas. Let me know what other sort of vlogging style videos you want to see from me down below. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Emma. I talk about all sorts of things zero waste, focusing on free, easy, and fun ways to live low waste. Subscribe if you like that. Let's just go ahead and get right into it. Okay, first, I'm gonna go on a walk. I like to take a walk typically around lunchtime every day if the weather is nice. I really hope the wind isn't too bad. So one of my hobbies is walking, and walking is inherently sustainable. It uses no emissions. But I like to take it one step further, bring a bag with me, and pick up any trash that I see. Also, on this particular walk, I'm just out in my dad's field. I'm also looking for treasures. Trash and treasures. Things like cool rocks and bones. This piece of trash has a little slug on it. I'm gonna take him off and then take the trash home. All right, my first treasure. I think it's a piece of quartz. I don't know, it's pretty, so I'm gonna keep it. Okay, now that we're back, it's time to start hot gluing my shells on this canvas. Now, unfortunately, I don't have an outlet, so I've got like a 50-foot extension cord. I laid them out the other day, measured it so then I can get a canvas the right size. Look at the size of this thing. This is probably the most unsustainable part of it all, is the plastic wrap on this canvas. Here are my shells. They're all scallops. I was really inspired by my grandmom's art, her shell art from like the early 2000s. And I was like, I want some shell art in my house. I laid them all out by size. I'm gonna do biggest to smallest. And then I numbered them so that I knew exactly where to put them when I was doing like re-gluing them on here. First step is we're gonna lay them back out, make sure that I like it. If I don't like it with a tentative title up here, I'll just shift everything upwards. Thankfully, I have enough room to put the title up top, but unfortunately, I think I need to take all of these off and draw some lines so that I glue them on straight and that they're even on the edges. And this is why I have an arts degree. Even in art, you have to do math. So for the size of the shells, I need a total of 9.75 inches in height, but my canvas is only 25 inches tall, which is fine. I think I will just have to make like a 1/2 inch allowance between each row, 4.5. That still only leaves 3/4 inch at the top. Alternatively, I could just wing it. I want it to be as symmetrical as possible though. I'm just scared that if I wing it without measuring each row, I'm gonna get to the bottom and it's gonna be a weird length. Either it's not gonna fit or it's gonna be too much and it's not gonna be perfect. I think I'm gonna go ahead and throw some lines on here and see what it looks like. Okay, my problem was my canvas is 18 by 24. So that was my problem. I was thinking in my head that I had 18 by 25, but I needed to squeeze my 18 by 25 into an 18 by 24. And the last row will be a little bit closer to the edge than the top row will. Anyway, we have it all marked out now. I think what I'm gonna do instead is just lay this down and glue everything along the bottom of this so that I don't have to make a bunch of pencil marks, because this is already a lot of pencil and it's already smudging. I was about halfway through and I'm like, okay, this gap that I'm putting between each row is a little too big. So what ended up happening was I now have enough space here on the bottom to write something if I want to. I should, because that gap is so much bigger than the other gaps. Take off all the glue strings and then write something under here, probably just, you know, the scientific name. My finger really hurts. But other than that, I think it's pretty cute. Is it perfect? No, but I think it'll be very nice on a wall. We will move on to my next hobby, which is sourdough. And sourdough is really exciting because not only is it a low waste hobby, but it will also prevent you from buying a lot of waste. Instead of now buying sourdough in plastic bags, I just buy a 5 or 10 pound bag of flour, and that's all I have to buy. Maybe some salt occasionally, but it's literally just salt, flour, and water. It is the easiest, lowest waste, cheapest hobby you could ever get into, and honestly, it's the most delicious as well. Here's my sourdough starter in a reused coconut oil jar, an upcycled rubber band, and then I'll feed it tomorrow. I feed my sourdough every day so that I can have the discard to use, but you don't have to feed your sourdough every day. If you want more sourdough content, let me know. I am by no means an expert, but I have learned a lot in the last 4 months or so since I've started making it. And I would love to make some sourdough content for you guys. Here's my dough for today. This recipe makes me 2 loaves. I have done 2 rounds of stretch and folds. I have 2 more to go. And a stretch and fold is literally just stretching and folding 4 times. Stretching, folding, rotate, stretch, fold. And then after the stretch and folds, we will be back to actually shape the dough. It rests overnight and then I don't bake until tomorrow. One hobby that I really got into last year was reading, and it started out with reading physical books, but then I branched into the audiobook realm and I can't turn back. I love audiobooks. I particularly love audiobooks while I'm editing videos, while I'm walking, while I'm doing chores, while I'm cooking, you know, mindless tasks that I can slap on an audiobook, I can learn something, I can be entertained, and just help pass the time if I'm doing something that's boring. I use the Libby app with my library card, and also share amongst family. I don't know if you're supposed to, but I gave my sister my library card information because her library card in Ohio sucks. So if you have family with a better library card than you, Libby doesn't stop you. You can also use Hoopla with your libraries, and I think there are a couple other apps with your libraries. But when I do read books in person, I get them secondhand most of the time. I did get this one from a bookstore, but it was one of those like blind date with a book. It was $5. And I was so excited when I opened this because it's on my reading list. But a lot of the other times I do get books secondhand. I got this one at a free little library. And then I got this one at like a secondhand book stall at a festival in Spokane. I also get books secondhand on Thrift Books. Thrift Books is my favorite place to get them because it's an online database. You can search your genre, title, author, instead of having to like sift through at a secondhand bookstore. I bought 2 new books in the last 2 years. And maybe I'll buy more books one day, you know, once we have a home and a library, but I will be buying them mostly secondhand just because they're so much cheaper. They're so easy to find with places like Thrift Books, and you can get books in really, really good conditions. There's some sustainable ways that I read. And my other hobby is gaming, particularly on the Switch. I started with Breath of the Wild, which we actually had the physical game for. Is it in here? No, this is Mario Kart. So we did get this Switch secondhand, which makes it sustainable, as well as a few secondhand games that came with it. But since we've gotten the Switch, we have not bought any games physically. Just because, not necessarily the game cartridge, but it comes in a case, it requires shipping, all that sort of stuff is unsustainable, even if it is your hobby, but there are ways to do it sustainably, such as getting the online version. So I've got Palia online, Zelda, Stardew Valley, Fortnite, Apex Legends, Rocket League. I think we have the physical version of Smash Bros, Super Mario Party, so we do have several online games. It makes it so much easier. I can download it straight to here. I don't have to go to a physical store. I don't have to order anything online, and it does reduce a little bit of waste.
Left.
Welcome. It is the next day, and I last minute decided to try a pizza loaf. It's got marinara sauce and mozzarella. And I think I know why I have never seen anybody do this before on the internet, and that is because the marinara sauce is so messy and it didn't really come together. So we'll see how it bakes, and then we have one plain loaf. I'm getting ready to bake them now. I did think of one more hobby, and that is going to get a little treat. I like to go try out new local coffee shops, especially when I move. So that makes it eco-friendly by supporting local, and it makes it even more great when the local coffee shop takes my cup. I'll see you back here when the loaves are done. I'm very curious how this one's gonna go. Well, that is all that I have for today. Thank you so much for coming along with me. I hope that you enjoyed this video, this sort of vloggy style and a glimpse into my life and what I do behind the camera. And I hope that this inspires you to not only keep doing your hobbies even though you're living zero waste, but find ways to make them more eco-friendly so that your hobbies aren't creating as much waste, but you're still getting joy in your life. Just because someone lives zero waste doesn't mean that they have to be perfect, completely plastic free, completely eliminate every single piece of waste, even the waste that brings them joy. Don't do that. You still need to be happy to live zero waste. If you cut out everything that brings you joy, you're just gonna get burnt out and not want to stick with this lifestyle. So take the things that make you joy, find ways to do them less wastefully. And again, you can learn more ideas in this video all about zero waste hobbies after this. So let us know down below what your hobbies are, how you make them more eco-friendly, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I'm actually gonna start filming it right now. Spoiler, I guess. Or maybe sneak peek. I have a couple DIYs that I have to do for the RV. We're getting ready to move back into the RV, and I'll announce where we're moving to in that video, so stay tuned. I have a couple things for the RV that need repaired, mended, just made to look a little bit more fresh. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time, especially if you made it all the way to the end. I will see you in the next video, but until then, remember that your small actions make a big difference in the long run. Bye, guys. But you're still getting enjoyment. If you cut out everything that makes you joy, thank you, yeah, oh my gosh.